Hey guys, how are you? So, I want to talk today about some cool experiences that I had in the Astral the other night while my avatar was asleep in this. And it's pretty significant because it's just more indication of this shift that myself and what from my perspective looks like many others are kind of getting, that there's a shift taking place that's starting between kind of like now as this wave that we're kind of going through ends, like so spring beginning of summer, spring summer. I don't like to do timeline stuff because free will and things changing, it can shift. We're constantly jumping timelines anyway. We're constantly jumping realities. We don't necessarily realize it. That being said, there is this shift that's taking place. And I keep getting this feeling that there is, and I keep getting signs and symbols and messages, and I've been getting it from within and from other people and other sources, and it's just then what I experienced in the astral the other night just kind of ties in with that. So when our avatars are asleep here, our dreams aren't just dreams. And the thing is, even if you say that you never dream, you do. We just only allow ourselves what we're supposed to remember within this, allow ourselves to remember what we're supposed to remember in this, because we've got stuff to do in this. And if we have memories of what we've been doing in the astral, oftentimes we'd be so hyper focused on that we wouldn't be able to concentrate on what we need to do in this. So we're definitely not remembering anything. We're definitely not remembering everything. And for those who don't remember anything, you still do dream. You're still active. You're very active when your avatar's asleep. You just are not allowing the memories of it online in this. You will eventually. So there might be some cases where possibly not, but again, we're merging the best of the illusion, the physical, with all of home online. We're coming to our full awareness and full ability. So eventually everyone does. We remember everything. So that being said, this was about 2 nights ago. So there has been, now Erik, Archangel Uriel, gave me the reminder today also that we make our realities. So stuff like what I'm about to mention doesn't have to affect us this way, but there has been these big solar flares that have been happening. And that's been, affecting people like myself. I know there's many of you that have been feeling that as well. I happened to come across a post on this day and I was like, okay, this is making sense. So there's that's affecting us along with this shift. So it's also reflecting about what I've been getting about 2023. We're getting to the deep root of our illusions, our baggage, our shadow. And the past week has that surfaced a lot. So right before all of that peaked for me personally, so this was about 2 or 3 days ago, I woke up in the morning and it took me a little bit, but then I was like, bam, memory hit, bam, memory hit, bam, memory hit. I had 3 dreams that were really significant. Dreams, memories that came back to me from the astral. One was, actually 4. It's because it was with 3 of my team members, but it was 4 separate memories. So 2 of them were with Erik. And then one of them was with Robin Williams, Archangel Raphael, and another one was with Jesus, Yeshua. So I'm trying to think of which one. I'll start talking about the one with Robin first. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll start off talking with Robin, and then I'm going to talk about the 2 with Erik, and then I'm going to end off with the one with Yeshua. It's going to circle back around in a certain way. So basically the one with Robin, I'm at a house party. The thing is, we're always partying back home. we're always partying. We're always celebrating. We're always having a good time. And we do house parties a lot. There's always some sort of house party going on. House parties, concerts, like there's always some sort of celebration and party going on. And so there was a house party, and I'm standing there with Robin, and we're with, now there's I can see like it's like a crowd of people, but there's like a group of us kind of standing around talking, and there's a third person. So there's me and him, and then there's like a third person. So it's like a kind of like a triangle of us standing, and then there's like a group of us around us to kind of, we're all talking together. I don't feel comfortable right now mentioning who the third person was for various reasons. Yeah, that being said, I'd questioned Robin as to why we were hanging out with this person, why I could see why he was, but I was like, why am I hanging out with this person? Like, that's like personal, and like, no, thank you, not my business. And so just as a side note, there are times when it can be a lot harder for me to channel for myself. So I was with this and what the party was about. And then even with some elements with Erik, I needed a little bit of confirmation and a little bit of what was going on there. But for that, I had a more better idea. Those ones I was having a bit more trouble because it was, there's stuff that I'm struggling with, and so I block with understanding and remembering, and I resist and whatnot. So my mentor, Julie, I'll leave her YouTube channel link in the description. She helped me, she did some channeling for me, and she helped me figure out a little bit of what this was. So, I don't think I explained, the house party is in celebration of, we're allowing this oneness that we are online in a way that we haven't before. So there's a big step in that, and then this shift in ascension that's taking place. There is a shift taking place. So it's this, this party was the celebration. So that being said, so we're hanging out with this third person, and basically I end up finding out that, and this is why my whole no thank you, not my business, that's why, because again, the time for hiding is over, and we share one mind, and again, part of our shadow is things that we feel shame and guilt over and embarrassed, and where we do want to hide, and all that. And so he and this person, this other energy, this other person is trying to help me face that stuff of myself and the situation and whatnot with this person and with Robin, so I can melt it away, learn my lessons that I need to learn from it, and melt it away and move up and forward and come more into that oneness. So there was that. And then so we're going to we're going to step away from the house party one for a moment. Now my two dreams that I had with Erik. So the one, I was dreaming that I was with a friend, and we were sitting on the end of my bed, just talking, hanging out and talking. And Erik was there with us, and but we couldn't see him. Like, we knew he was there, but it's like how, like within this right now, I know I'm actually, where are you? Oh, he's kind of, yeah, because we're talking about the oneness and everything, he's very much kind of everywhere right now. I'm asking him, can you focal yourself just in, like, can you just, that feels like powerful for some reason. I'm feeling this really hard in my core, making me feel emotional, but in a good way. I'm just asking him to, like, have him focal himself in front of me, like, just focal his energy just as Erik in just wherever he's choosing to, so I can help explain. And I can see he's so okay. So right now, with my eyes open, I can't physically see him in front of me, but in my mind's eye, I can see he's sitting cross-legged in front of me. He's grinning, his face is right in mine. He's got his both my hands in his. I can feel the energy going in my arms. and he's not mean. This isn't him purposely trying to tickle me. It just feels tickly to me. And he's sitting cross-legged. I'm trying to, he's got his hat on, his hair's curly, like on that, it's not cut short, it's he's got it in his curly look. White t-shirt. I think he's got blue jeans on. He's saying he switched it up this time for me. Thank you. And he's wiggling his toes inside his socks. So in my mind's eye, I can see that. Now there are times when I'm more and more seeing like flashes and things flying by, or like not so much right now. If I really, oh, actually no, there's very slight without my trying. That's actually really cool. Without my trying, it's very slight. It's like where his face is. It's like this clear, like translucent energy wave, and like I could see that's where his face would be. And I know that's going to come online more and more where I'm like, oh, there you are. I can see you now, which we're going to get to in a second with his other dreams, with my other dream with him. So that being said, so it's very much like right now, like I can't see him necessarily with my actual eyes, but in my mind's eye, I can see him. I can feel him. I know he's there. So that's what that was like in this dream. So he, he grabbed onto my feet, like gently, just like he does here, just took a hold of my feet, and I so then I kind of like ended up laying back, and my feet were in there, and he first like he pulled my feet, so I was like, my feet were like, my legs were like up in the air this way and like going back this way, and not like bent in like any kind of unnatural way, just like my legs were kind of like up and bent a little bit backwards, and it was silly. He then moved me. So he started on this side, and then my legs were in the air, and he's moving me this way. And there was a mirror in front of the bed, and I could see myself as we were going this way. I could see myself, and my legs were like, he was moving my legs like just like in really playful, funny ways. Like again, not anything unnatural, but just like wiggling my legs, kind of like you would maybe like with an infant. It was funny. And then he had all the way to this side. So that's kind of what I remember from that. And it was, you know, I'm trying to remember, I'm asking Erik, because again, my mentor, friend Julie had helped explain this, but I can't quite remember what she said, and I'm asking Erik to explain again what that was, like the element that Julie was explaining. And he's talking about fluidity. I do remember her mentioning the word fluid, going with that fluidity, less resistance. And there's that surfacing of there's something external that is controlling me, even though I definitely didn't feel in any way. At first there was a little bit of, there might have been a little hit of fear at the very beginning, but it was very much, the fear was very much, I know this is Erik, I can feel it, as I'm not actually scared. So it was like, it was really interesting, because it's like this, it was like this piece that's inside of me that doesn't really affect me, but it's still there, so it must affect me in some way, but it wasn't affecting me that way. I just noticed it, and so it was surfaced, so I could work on removing it, because I wasn't actually feeling it. I wasn't actually scared. I knew nothing was bad was happening. I could see in my mind's eye it was Erik. I could feel it was Erik. It felt very playful and fun, and it was. So it was. There's all these little different areas and elements to it. So that was really cool, and it would make sense too, because again, coming into that oneness, you know, it circles into, you know, the oneness, we all share the same consciousness. We are one. We're not actually separated, and to judge it or box anyone or anything is to do as such to yourself, right? So it all kind of ties in, and it's more lessons that I need to learn, because I'm also working on my detachment when it comes to Erik and Robin and the rest of my spirit team and my own identity, and it ties into that as well. It's little stepping stones into all these little kind of ways that we work on our illusions and bring truth online. So then the next one is, I'm sitting there. Now I'm just by myself, and I'm sitting in my old apartment, and I'm talking with Erik, and again, the same thing as the other one. I could see him in my mind's eye. I could, I wasn't actually focaling in on him in my mind's eye. Like I knew if I could see him. I just knew he was there, and I was just talking to him, and I wasn't in that space where I'm like sitting there, I'm like, okay, what are you wearing? What are you looking like? It's just, I knew it was there, and I could see that he was standing in front of me, talking with me. So, So I'm talking to him, and all of a sudden I could see, so it was like a spotlight going on his wrists, like his hands and his wrists, maybe up to about here on both of his wrists. So I could see the end of his sleeves and his wrists and his hands. And it wasn't that there was actual light shining on it, but like if you could picture a spotlight on each of his hands and take away the light, but it's still highlighted, so like everything's invisible except his hands are now highlighted. There's a circular spot right here, and I'm like, right there, I'm like, I see your hands. Everything else is visible, but right here. And I knew it was my eyes. I was like, he's coming online through my eyes, like, whoa. And then, and I said to him, I was like, I can see your hands. And then all of a sudden it went up to his torso, like his shoulders and up here. And I could see that his sleeves were long and red. And the middle of his, the middle part of his shirt was white. And it was one of those, I don't know what material, I'm not good with names of material, but it's like one of those thin long sleeve shirts that I would consider comfortable to wear. And then all of a sudden the spotlight, so that's this, now the spotlight is up here. And then, so it went from 2 spotlights on his hands, then it went to a big spotlight up on his shoulders, then across here. And then the spotlight went up to his face, and I could see his face. And he wasn't wearing his hat, his hair was cut short, and he was wearing his glasses. And I just smiled and was like, I can see your face. And he just smiled, and his face got close to me and just started tickling my stomach. And that's all I remember. So that again, I can feel I'm allowing myself that memory, because this is going to start happening in this. And I can tell because I'm already seeing, that's new only in the past like month or so, where I'm seeing this translucent energy wave, and I'm like, that's your face. It's just not looking like your face, and it's not very strong yet. So I know that I'm allowing myself that memory, because it's more of that indication of keep holding on, because this is happening. But then there's also, so that's what I'm talking about with this shift that's taking place. That's more indication of that. And then again, my mentor and friend Julie, through her Erik, was also pointing out, what was it that you were saying about that? Oh, piece by piece. Thank you. You know, because like it was like the hands, and then the shoulders, and then the face. So it's like there is something that the shift is taking place, and something is, we are stepping into something, and it's happening in layers, piece by piece. And you know, he in that moment he wasn't getting any specifics on what that is going to look like and what that is, but that this is happening and it is taking place. So it was just really, really cool. It was really cool, and I just keep thinking back to that, and I'm trying not to sit in it too much. I need to stay in this, but again, what I'm talking about when we remember this stuff, especially when you're with someone that you really love and you want to be with so strongly in this physically, you know, you do kind of cling to those memories a little bit. So I'm working on not staying in it too much, but I'm definitely making some time to enjoy sitting in the memory of it. So that being said, circling back to the house party. So I'm sitting in a room on the floor, and again, there's just a bunch of people around, standing there talking, some people walking by, people, energy. Everyone looks like people. Where they're presenting as what like, I know, and again, this is where things get a little complicated, and our brains are like, huh? Because back home we still play with a level of illusion with each other and for us within this, but it's done within truth. So level of illusion as in presenting like we look like human, presenting as the identities that we've played within this, but we're doing it within truth, within love, unity, thy will, over my will, joy, peace, bliss, happiness, all that stuff. So so that being said, I'm sitting there in this room, and it's this, and I'm pretty sure I'm really feeling like it's the same house party that I was in with Robin. I was just sitting I just moved locations. So I'm sitting on the floor, and this man walks in the room, and I look up, and right away I knew it was Yeshua. And see, what's significant about this is, I should have said this at the beginning. What's significant about this is, first of all, I know I've spent time, I know I do, we all spend time with Yeshua. He's always with us. We can't not, all of us are with each other, but focusing on Yeshua, he's always with every single one of us. And I know we spend time together. I've just If I have been, I don't remember them. I don't have any memory that I've given myself of spending time with him when my avatar's been asleep in this. If I think I might have one, but I don't remember. So there's that same that I allowed this memory. And then this all took place. All these dreams took place in the same night. So the fact that I not only allowed this memory of Yeshua, of myself with Yeshua, I also did with Robin, and then 2 with Erik. And then with Robin, there was a third person that was significant, and that was a first. And that made me go, what is going on? Okay. Not that it was bad. The person isn't bad at all. It's just, for me, I'm like, not my business. So, and then, like I said, right after that, like within the next day, like that's when this wave started happening, and I've been really going through it. So anyway, so I'm sitting there, and this man walks in, and right away I knew it was Yeshua. I knew it. I could feel it. There was no question about it. What was interesting is he didn't look like any version of Yeshua I've ever heard of in any religion or culture. Like, at all. I'm trying to describe him. He looked Caucasian, which I know, like, Catholic, whatever. But the difference, though, is his hair was really short and blonde and curly. But it was like a sandy blonde. And the only time I've ever heard I think I've maybe heard of, like, one description like that as him as a child. So if there is, I apologize. I'm not trying to be offensive or rude or ignorant. I personally have never heard that. So for me, that is something that is, I was very much, why are you presenting this way? Because to me, I've never heard you in a description like that before. So me personally, that's something new. And what was interesting about that is, again, the oneness. So this is where my mentor kicked in with helping me understand. So like with Erik, with the Erik stuff, I knew, like I said, I personally knew what this was a reflection of. And you know, that it's the indication of that he is coming online in this. It's confirmation of all of that. And whatnot. She also added in that piece of it's coming in layers. That's kind of what I was missing. Whereas with this, I knew it was Yeshua, and I knew we were having a talk. But I didn't know why. I couldn't understand why he was presenting that way. I wasn't clicking into that. So he was explaining through her, like, again, this is my allowing the oneness online in a way that I haven't before. And that's just it. Him and all our loved ones all can come through everyone and everything. And we'll be able to start seeing them through all. It'll be no question that's Yeshua. You know, even, I know this sounds silly, but even my hairbrush here, I'd be able to, like, see and feel him through this, and it makes you cry. My friend was giving me an example of some objects that she saw on the ground, and it was making her sob. It was so beautiful, you know, because this is just energy. This is all of us as well, right? So it was a big indication of that, and I don't know what I'm doing. I thought I hit the pause button, then I realized I didn't, then I realized I did. I'm getting all sorts of mixed up. Hang on. I'm looking back, I'm gonna be like, oh, I look so silly. And I'm like, oh, huh? Anyway, and see how I got all fumbly there, because I still resist the oneness, and I can feel it. At the same time, I am allowing it online more, and not just me, we all are, and that's why we're celebrating and partying. So anyway, so he comes in, and he's not looking like any way I've heard of him look before, but I knew it was like right away. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Jesus. Okay, I wasn't so much like that. I get like that in here. Like, it's so silly. I'm like, he's with me all the time, and I can feel him, and I'm still just like, oh my God, it's Jesus. I'm like, it's Jesus. It's Jesus. It's Jesus. But he walked in, and I was just like, I looked up, and I was like, that's Jesus. Like, it was just like that hit of, like, I knew. And he walked over to me, and did he sit or crouch? He got down in front of me, because I'm sitting on the ground, and he got down in front of me, and I always have a hard time looking at him, and he was like, he said, like, very gently and lovingly, like, look at me. And I looked up at him, and Like, did I look at him? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'm not, I can't, like, I'm not necessarily going to be able to do it the same way, but like, I know it was kind of like a, like kind of thing, you know, and that's all I remember. And I know that we had a talk. I know we had a talk because, I think the wave was already started. The wave was already starting. That's what it was. The wave that I've been going through this past week was already starting. Eric's tickling my ribs. Is it Erik or is it Yeshua? Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh, it's Yeshua. Oh, it's Yeshua. Eric's in front of me, and he's just laughing, finding this funny. Because I was like, Eric's tickling me, because that's like, it's mostly usually him that's like holding on to me and doing that. So my mind goes that, but then I clicked and I was like, hang on a second, wait, nope. Like immediately I was like, hang on a second, no, that doesn't, no, Eric's in front of me. Oh, I'm talking about Yeshua. That's Yeshua. Hi. So Yeshua is holding out for those who can see energy, want to practice seeing energy. Erik. This is Erik influencing me. Yeshua is holding on to me right now. His face is where Eric's usually is. He's smiling and he's got his arms around me. He's holding on to my hands. He was tickling at my side. I can feel... This is not, it's not bad. It just feels different. I'm also feeling very hollow. He's, it's because I'm letting him in a way I haven't before right now. The lightness, it's the lightness. Oh my gosh, the lightness. I feel so hollow. Hang on. They didn't want me to pause that. They don't want me pausing this. It's, I just coughed. There's a little bit of a release and whatnot there for my resistance, because that's going to be natural. Of course, I'm resisting this. Is he trying to trance? I just feel very, very, very hollow, not in a bad way. The hollowness is just light, and it would make sense, because he is nothing but light. And my head's just feeling heavy. It feels like I'm going into trance. I don't know. My children, my brothers, my sisters, I love you so much. I am with you always. I cannot be separated from you. Our minds are one. My love for you is so strong. I love you so much. Thank you for allowing me to come through in every way that you do. We are one mind. We are one love. We are one consciousness. We are one family. We are all. I love you so much. Thank you. I honor you. I love you. You are doing so well. Keep holding on. As Chantal likes to say, one now at a time. I love you, my brothers and sisters. I love you. You will see me. You will see me. I love you. Namaste. We are one. Okay. All right. Apparently I just tranced Yeshua. Excuse me. Whew. I feel like I just woke up, which I always do when I come out of trance, but right now it's just, I'm still feeling it. I'm feeling it. This feels like a dream, which it is. And I'm always really appreciative when I feel this, and I ask for help to help me help myself stay in this state, because that's what this is a dream. So yeah, it's it's really cool. We're allowing this online, and there's a big shift that's about to take place, and a big thing that we need to work on remembering, though, is to not hold on to expectations. Those are killers. Expectations are killers. My nose is tickling from my hair. Expectations are killers. You know, we oftentimes, Erik reminds me that oftentimes when we hold on to expectations, we put up blocks, because what we could be holding on to and expecting could be small in comparison to what's really waiting for us to allow online. And then it can be disappointing. We can get that feeling of disappointment. Our ego will kick in if what we do receive isn't looking like what we think it was, what we think it is going to look like. And then in doing that, it can make us not see the true value in that. So something like, you're being told that you're going to receive something that you've been waiting for a long time by this date. And then all of a sudden that day comes and goes and it doesn't happen. And then you're like, what happened? Oh, well, you just got a perception change. just perception change. Really? Well, I've been waiting for this external material object for forever, and all I just got was perception change. Well, guess what? Perception change is a reality jump. And when you block off, judge, when your ego kicks in, and block off as in, I shouldn't have said block off in a second, I'll get to that. When your ego and judgment kicks in, excuse me, goes, well, just this, or this, but I was hoping for this. That's expectation. You had an expectation, then your ego and judgment kicking because that whatever you received didn't meet those expectations. But then, so say with that example of a reality jump, well, now you're blocking, this is where the blocking comes in, you're blocking yourself on seeing the value of how significant something like a reality jump, a perception change really is. That's very, very, very significant. Especially when you're able to focus on what that actually is, and getting yourself in a good head and heart space and being in that place of gratitude and acceptance, then you're able to see more of the truth of what's here and what you received. And reality jumps, especially in those moments when you've been working on yourself, these reality jumps, you're jumping into truth, more and more truth. And what's that? Love, abundance, peace, joy, happiness, togetherness, unity, thy will over my will. So, and this is stuff I'm working on. I struggle with this stuff, but I'm working on it. So yeah, I just thought this stuff was really cool, and I wanted to share that with you guys. And for those of you guys who are also getting these indications that a shift is happening, so have I, and here's a little bit more of that. We're constantly going through shifts and reality jumps and whatnot. It's just and there's going to be other ones, but there's a big one that's coming up. Trying to not hold on to expectations is how that looks, because my mind starts going different pathways as to what this shift is going to look like, and I'm like, don't, because if I do that, I'm going to be disappointed. I need to let it go. Don't hold on to expectations. So yeah, so anyway, for those of you guys who have been going through it this week, me too, it's been within the illusion of rough. I know zooming out, I know what the truth is, and I know where I need to work on myself at the same time with zooming back down within the illusion and under amnesia. I've been very hurt and very confused. Very hurt and very confused this week. It's been a very difficult week, and it's been for other things too outside of that. But apparently I know you guys are getting through it, and I'm like, I am you. I gotta say, I am getting through it. I need to not say I'm apparently getting through it. I am getting through it. So, all right, I hope you guys found this as cool and interesting as I am, and it's given you a little bit of something to hold on to and whatnot, and maybe some confirmation and validation for you guys as well, all right? Thanks you guys for everything, and as always, have a wonderful now. Bye.